All right, we are back. Justin Boone and I are continuing to preview week 2 of the NFL season here, starting with Boone. Another question from you out of your 6-pack of questions. I got to tell you, man, this offense has me very excited, so let it rip here.
Is the Jets offense for real? Was it fueled by revenge in week 1? And was that going to be the high point on the year for them? Or is this what we're going to see? Because if you go back earlier in the offseason, right, when Aaron Glenn showed up there, when they got Justin Fields, generally I was very excited about what this offense could be. And then what happened? We had all the Breece Hall talk, everyone around the team saying, he could get traded and this is going to be a committee backfield. And Braylon Allen looks so great. And maybe he's going to start to eat into it and all that sort of stuff. And then when they get to training camp, it was Justin Fields looks terrible in practice. And what's going to happen to this offense? And, they're showing clips of him like just outright missing Garrett Wilson on short passes while they're at practice. And then you start to question, okay, well, volume wise, is Garrett Wilson going to be able to get there? And I kind of like started to move away from my original thought on it and bump some of those guys down. And yet in week 1, Justin Fields is the kind of quarterback that you put out there, and on game day, he just finds ways to get it done and finds ways to put up points and, running with his legs, which I think you're the one who said before, like he doesn't necessarily want to do that, but he does it out of necessity. And he did it this week and he got it done. There are so many things about this offense that I think are so exciting, but it revolves around just those 3 guys, right? For fantasy, it's Fields, it's Breece Hall, and it's Garrett Wilson. And they were all top 10 at their position in fantasy this week, which was huge, right? Like Justin Fields, the QB2 overall, Breece Hall, the RB9, Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver 6. Can we see this continue? I think we can. Like, I think if it's going to stay this concentrated and if everybody's going to stay healthy, this is what I originally thought this offense could be. And it's really, really exciting. And I'm not even mentioning that, Braylon Allen did come through. He got a touchdown. It wasn't based on volume or anything, but that turned him into a guy that you could put in your flex, right? Like it's a risky flex play, TD or bust kind of guy moving forward. But this offense came through and I'm kind of happy in the spots where I have them. I think this is legit.
Man, I feel like an idiot after 1 week buying into all the every
Same.
preseason narrative about the Jets looks horrible right now. Like the Breece Hall was going to take a back seat to Braylon Allen and these boys. That looks bad. But what might look even worse is that Justin Fields just can't play. He looked great in week 1. I don't want to go crazy about it, but he looked calm, confident, and really had the thing that was most impressive to me was that he had such a good grasp of where the football needs to go in this offense. And again, I keep bringing up this Lions piece that I wrote because if they're going to make me write articles, please go read them. Same with Boone. Go read his articles as well. It's 2025. We're reading again. Okay. Reading is back. Don't ask me how much I'm reading. Reading is back for you guys. Reading is good for you, not for me. Anyways, but so if I'm going to write these articles, please go read them. This Lions one, I mentioned this, the offense of between Detroit and Chicago, obviously, is with Ben Johnson, but Tanner Engstrand, that's the offense that looked most like the Lions that I remember. Like the Lions of 2023, the Lions especially of 2024, with all this motion at the snap, condensed formations, doing things to get Garrett Wilson wide open. And man, Fields would hit the top of his drop back and just immediately where's number 5? Get him the football. Very, very impressive, very decisive for a guy that I think can play at times way too robotic and way too slow. In Justin Fields, this offense had him playing confident in time, in rhythm and on time. Not perfect. I'm not going to go crazy with it, but that really looked great from him. The other thing that I really regret potentially overreacting to and was wrong about was the Elijah Vera Tucker injury right before week 1's game. He goes out for the season, triceps injury. I'm like, oh my God, the whole point of this offense was that it was supposed to be this great offensive line. They were going to run block and Justin Fields is going to have the best pass protection of his career. They moved Joe Tippmann from center to right guard to take Vera Tucker's spot and then insert Josh Myers, who was their backup center, used to be the Packers starting center. And that offensive line looked great against a good defensive front in the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Boone, you're a Bills fan. I think even you would admit that front has nothing on like the guys in Pittsburgh. Rookie Armand Membu is like giving TJ Watt the business in pass protection. I just can't say I was so impressed by what I saw out of the Jets in week 1. But, and this matchup against the Bills is just very different because And what this offense is still different than what the Bills went up against and kind of got beat around by in the Baltimore Ravens. So, like, how much do you think that is sticky? The Derrick Henry performance against Buffalo versus like what people can expect out of Breece Hall in this matchup.
I mean, we've seen Breece Hall breaking long runs against the Bills before, so I don't think that's any sort of far-fetched situation. I definitely think he can get that done. Ed Oliver too. Ed Oliver shows up in a walking boot this week.
True.
He's going around in a little cart. Is he going to be able to play? It's an ankle injury. I don't know. I mean, when you're in a boot early in the week, doesn't seem like you're going to be available that weekend, right? So that would be concerning because Ed Oliver was incredible in that opening game, right? Like there was a few plays there where he was the guy, maybe the one guy in the Bills that had the strength to just go head to head with Derrick Henry and stop him. There aren't many on that defense that could do it. And in this matchup, I do think that Breece Hall is going to be able to come through because the Bills are just not built to stop the run like that. If you take away Ed Oliver, it is going to be incredibly problematic. Now, it's a different coaching staff. It's a different team, obviously. But you look back, like last year, the Jets didn't top 20 points in either game against the Bills. And this week, you look at what they're projected for, it's under 20 points. So, you know, Vegas might not be buying this as much as we are for fantasy, but I think this situation with the Bills defense, not just banged up with that Oliver, but remember the cornerbacks, the secondary, there's issues there. They didn't have them, you know, a bunch of guys. Like when you're talking about, you know, Trey White not being there, they lose their first round pick. I mean, in the preseason, like they thought they were going to have solutions in the secondary and now not so much. So Bills dealing with some injuries. I think that's going to allow the Jets to keep this going.
I think so too. Again, don't want to go crazy on it, but I do feel pretty good about this matchup here. Last week, obviously, Lamar Jackson tore up the Bills, but he had 15.2 yards per attempt on play action, according to Pro Football Focus, against Buffalo in week 1. Obviously, that's Lamar Jackson. It's one of the most dangerous play action games in the NFL. They did a pretty decent job of using play action in the Jets offense in week 1. Justin Fields, in terms of dropbacks with play action, around 24%, which is in like the Jaden Daniels zone as well. Jared Goff, which was a step down for Jared Goff, by the way, at the Lions offense. But anyways, yes, again, I think that they can have some success working against this Bills defense for a variety of reasons.